Hi everyone, welcome to part 4 of my Christmas card inspiration series. This will be the last video in the series and I hope you've enjoyed it. And today we're going to be working with the Z fold card. Now, this basic fold can be used for so many cards, and I'm going to have a link below in the description box to a video that I made on using this one fold for making 5 creative cards. I'll also put a link to that on the end screen of this video so you don't miss it. So this card fold is so easy that even beginners that don't have a lot of fancy craft tools can still do this, and I'm going to show you that. So let's head on over and get started.
Before I get started sharing these cards with you to inspire you, I have a quick message for all of my viewers that are beginner card makers that don't have a lot of tools, if any. Please stay tuned because the second half of this video will be showing you how to make this card right here without any craft tools at all. The only thing that you're going to need is a pair of scissors. I'm going to start off showing you this card, and this is the easiest fun fold card there is to make. In fact, if you are not familiar with how to make the Z fold cards, besides the tutorial that I'm going to be having here in a little bit, I will put a link below in the description box and also a link on the end screen of this video to a video that I have on 5 different style cards you can make with this one easy fold. But let's get on. This is absolutely beautiful. So the pattern paper that I have used, and you can use any pattern paper you want, but what I used is this from Michaels, and I've had it for a few years, so I doubt they will have this. I think they change their designs every year. And the stamp set that I used is also an old one from my stash. But that beautiful rose gold foiled cardstock that I used is from Michaels, and they do still currently carry this, and it is wonderful. And it cuts absolutely beautifully. And this die set that I used to cut this out, this die set is literally to die for. And I'm going to show that to you right now.
These stitched lace tag dies are amazing. There are 10 dies in this set. 5 of them have stitched lace edges and 5 of them do not. You can use them together or separately or mix and match to create a variety of options.
So this is just one way that you can make a Z-fold card, and you can use circles, squares, ovals, whatever you want for those other pieces for the front and the inside. Now let's move on to the next one. This is one of my favorites. I just love this. And it is the exact same Z-fold card, but then you cut off the bottom however much you want, 1 inch, an inch and a half, whatever size, depending on the size card you have and the size card you want it to be. And you attach it. And again, that'll be in the video that I am linking below in the description box for a tutorial for that. But isn't this just beautiful? I love it. And of course, you can't see it sitting up here, but I have shown you a picture of it sitting up. And I love it. And let me talk to you about the products that I use to make this. So all of this sparkle here, this is close to my heart glitter paper. And I love, love, love this stuff. And I've been using it quite a bit lately, as you know. Now, really quick, I'm going to show you the stamp set and the die sets that I used for this card.
I used the hanging ornaments from this Happy Family Christmas Time stamp set, and I made the Christmas gifts from this Christmas Sparkle die set. And I really love that die set and would have used the Christmas tree from it, but it was too small. So I used the Christmas tree from this Christmas tree die set that I absolutely love and have used in past videos for the cards you see here.
There are so many possibilities for this style card. They are just so fun. I guess that's why they call them fun folds. And so that is just another idea of what you can do for a beautiful Christmas card. And this is the card that I'm going to be showing you how to make. And the cardstock that I used is also from an older pack that I had got from Michael's. So I don't think they still have it, but they probably have something similar. And this was just a leftover piece of paper that I had, a piece of cardstock. I don't even remember right now if it was out of a pack or if it was something that I had printed out last year or the year before. And of course that is close to my heart glitter paper. And so no special tools were used in the making of this. And the stamp set was an old one from my stash, but I'm going to show that you don't have to use a stamp set. You can handwrite if you want. So let's get on to how I made this.
Okay, you're not going to need any of this stuff, so let's throw out the die cutting machine and let's throw out the scoreboard.
This tutorial is aimed at beginner card makers that don't have many craft supplies or tools, or maybe don't have any at all. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this style Z-fold card. And you can use what I'm going to show you today to actually make several other style cards with this. And I'll put a link below in the description box to that video, as well as a link on the end screen so that you don't miss it. You can use any size cardstock you want to do this. I am using 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock that you can pick up at Michael's in a package like this. You probably won't find this one. It's from a few years ago. The same with what I'm using right here, but I just wanted you to know how it comes packaged. And you can cut that in half this direction or this direction, and I will show you both ways. But before I do, you're saying, well, what if I don't have a way to measure halfway to cut this? It's really easy. This is already cut, but I'm just going to say take your piece of cardstock and fold it in half and crease it really good. And then when you open it back up, you'll see where to cut. So that's that easy. Now I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to start with this one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half with the patterned part on the inside for this particular card. And so we're just going to fold it in half like so. And if you do have a scoreboard, then you can use that. But I'm showing you how to do this without a scoreboard. Okay, so, and here it is. I have a white background, white on white. Hopefully you can see that. Because now what you're going to do is you're going to take the front of the card. So this is what your card looks like. You're going to take this front piece, you're going to fold it in half again, and this time backwards to that outside edge. Just get it lined up really good. Probably would have been better for me as well to not have this on white so that I can see what I'm doing better. Okay, we've just done that. Guess what? There's the base of your Z-fold card. That was it. Okay, I'll show you the same thing with this one. So, with the pattern on the inside, we're going to fold that in half. And again, we're going to hold it like this, so it's going to open this direction. And we're going to fold that back to the edge, like so. And I really wish I didn't have a white background, but there we go. So again, we now have a Z-fold card. So now let's move on to the next step. Okay, I decided to bring in my mat for some contrast here. And so we've got this part of the card done, and now we need to do this part that goes on the front and on the inside. And this is going to be easy. I know you're saying, how's it going to be easy? I have no tools. Well, first of all, you're going to have to find some images. Maybe on some old Christmas cards, or maybe a piece of cardstock that has images on it. This is the one that I'm going to use. And so all you have to do is cut out around it. And there are choices. You can use something like a box and draw around that and use that for a template. If you want something round, you can use a glass, or you can use cookie cutters. You can use a tin can. Whatever it is that you have around your house that's the shape and size that you want to use. That's how easy it is. And I'm going to go cut this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got that cut out and ready to go. And I actually left a space here at the bottom because if you have a stamp, you can stamp Merry Christmas there. If you don't, you can actually handwrite it on there and it would look really pretty, or you don't have to do that at all. But I've decided that I want to stamp Merry Christmas on there, and I could have done this off camera like I'm pretty much doing, any other detailed work. But I'm going to come in and I'm just going to stamp Merry Christmas. There we go. That came out perfect. And now I'm going to show you the next step. So as you can see, this has the layer behind it. So here's the top layer, and then that metallic is the back layer. And you can do the same thing with this. So what you would do is you would take that piece, and I'm going to be using this sparkly glitter paper from Close to My Heart. But all you have to do is line that up on there. In fact, you could adhere it on there first, right where you want it, and then cut around the edges. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to use my glue, my Beacon 3-in-1, and glue that on, and then I'm going to cut around it. And there it is. It was so easy because when you glue it on first, you could line up the sides exactly where you want them, and then you only have to cut the other two sides. But there it is, and if you happen to have something like stickles or glitter gel pens, you can always dress up the images if you want. Or if you have anything like, little gems or enamel dots or whatever, you can add whatever you want to it. But if you don't have anything, this works just fine. Now, before we get on to putting that on there, you're also going to need to cut a piece of cardstock for the inside, and you want to cut it the same size as this first one you cut. And that's going to help hide it. You could actually cut it the same size as the entire thing, but I just suggest cutting it the same size as that piece right there. And that's what I did. And you can write your sentiment on it, or if you have stamps, you can stamp your sentiment on it like I did. Totally up to you. All right, now we're going to set that aside, and now we are going to position this on the front of the card. It's going to be so beautiful. So we're only going to be gluing half of this over here. So you only want glue on one half, and make sure you're putting it on the correct side. So what I like to do is, the first thing I like to do is grab my glue. It helps to have your glue on hand. So I've got my Beacon 3-in-1. And one way to make sure that, you turn it over and go, oh, this is the side I put it on, and then it's not. So what I suggest is taking it and then flipping it this way so that you know that's the side. And you're just going to put the glue on half of it. There we go. I'm going to guesstimate where half of it is when I go up here. You can actually measure it if you would like, but I'm really not doing a lot of measuring here, because we're doing this without any tools. So you're going to want to line it up wherever you want it, but halfway, and you can check on the back to make sure that the glue isn't oozing out. Lay it down like so. That helps too. You just don't want the glue to come out the other side and glue this whole thing together. Okay, so we have that on there. And so to glue this on, I also have a trick for that, okay? So let me put the glue on the back here. And we'll get that all covered nicely. And then here's my little trick, because you want to make sure it stays covered and that it's in the right spot. So we're going to take this. We're going to turn this over. Be careful, because you don't want to glue anything yet. And you're going to line that up right behind your front piece, just like so. And then you're going to close your card. And then you're going to open it back up. And that's going to be in the right place so that it is covered. So wasn't that easy? This is probably the easiest thing you can make. Look at that. I'm going to straighten it. It looks like it got a little crooked. Ah, I straightened it. Beacon 3-in-1, if you don't have it, you need to get it. I get this at scrapbookpal.com, but you can get it at Michael's or anywhere. I love it. So there you go. That is all ready, and your card is done. Now I'm going to show you something else. If you want to do something that looks like this banner that I used, or tag, whatever you want to call it, let me show you how easy that is. And if you want it perfect, you will need a ruler, but you don't have to have a ruler. So I've just cut a square here, and normally I guess I do a rectangle, but I have this square sitting here. So this happens to be a 3-inch square, and I'm going to move this up a little bit to where I want it. There's no certain measurements on this other than finding the middle point, which would be 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to put a little dot right there at 1.5 inches in the center. Bring in my scissors. I am going to cut from this corner to the dot and from this corner to the dot. And you now have a little banner piece that you can use. Of course, like I said, I probably would do it rectangle and not square, but I just wanted to show you that quick and easy tip. Now, if you have dies, this die set is to die for, and I would suggest getting that. But this tip was for those of you that don't have a die cutting machine and wanted to learn how to do that.
Thank you all for stopping by, and I hope you've enjoyed this Christmas card inspiration series. And if you happen to have missed parts 1, 2, and 3, I am going to put a link below in the description box to those, as well as a link on this end screen to part 1 so that you can start there. And there will also be a link on the end screen to my video on 1 easy card fold for 5 creative cards, so you don't miss out on that. And of course, as always, there are links below in the description box that you're not going to want to miss out on, such as links to the supplies that I used today, and of course the link to Crafter's Castle Challenge, where you can enter your creations. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.
If you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope you consider that too. And if you do, be sure to click the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos or giveaways. And I hope you stop by Crafter's Castle on Facebook and also Crafter's Castle Challenge blog to enter your creations.